Damn. What the fuck, man?
Well. How is everybody doing here today on your Friday, July 18th? As I was thinking about this yesterday, man. We are already halfway past July. Crazy work. Crazy
I know,
work.
does not feel like it.
No, not at all. Yeah, we're almost to August, and fucking before we blink, it'll be fall. So crazy stuff, but how's everybody doing here today on this edition of the news, man? This is episode 275 of the news. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us, man. As yeah, hope everybody is doing great, man. We actually have a pretty loaded week of news here today. A lot of news coming out of the weekend from, man, I mean, everything from injuries, SummerSlam, All In next year, All In this year, Evolution, injury stuff, like I said, man, all that type of stuff. Goldberg, a bunch of good stuff here on today's episode. On today's episode of the news, as, yeah. Oh, okay. All right, you're buffering there for a minute. I think it's definitely me though. It's not you. So,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Think we're good now. Golly, I don't know. My throat got so dry ever since we started. Okay, but anyways, yes, we have a lot of news here today to go over with you guys, man. But how's everybody doing here today on this edition of the news, man? As, yeah, thank you guys for joining us, man. If this is your first time watching, you guys do not know how the show works. Every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central, we are on here with NHP Unscripted. Every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news. And every pay-per-view for both WWE and AEW, we are live directly after the show goes off the air with the official post-show review. So if you guys did miss all the shows from the weekend, if you guys missed the Evolution review, the All In Texas review, as well as Monday's edition of Unscripted, you guys can now watch all of those on all platforms. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here live every, like I said, Monday at 12 Central for Unscripted, man. Also, if you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now, excuse me, My golly. I don't know what happened. If you guys haven't got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man, where you get this beautiful piece of merch on there as we speak, man. So with that being said, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. And as I take a drink to clear up my damn throat, Sir K, we got my man Sir K here. And yeah, I might have a bit of an idea today, but please enlighten the world on on what you're smiling about this evening.
Good, man. I'm doing good. Just smiling because everything's been good, man.
I'm
Everything's been
sure.
good. Just been chilling out, and here with you guys, man. So that's always a reason to smile. But I'm doing good. Just been chilling, waiting for SummerSlam weekend. I think is our next weekend. Yes, it
Correct.
is, and I'm excited. I'm excited. So fun weekend coming up with that, and I've just been chilling, man. Just been chilling. But like Durante, always ask, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing? In the live chat, Logan, Bell, how you guys doing? What about you, bro? And anyone in the replay? Anyone in the replay? And what about you, bro? How are you doing?
Hey man, I am doing pretty good, bro. I am doing pretty good. Just chilling, man, just chilling. So getting to getting to just enjoy some family time this weekend, bro, and that's pretty much about it.
Good.
That's pretty much about it. But yeah, like you said, in terms of wrestling wise, just interested to see how we step as we move closer and closer to SummerSlam. So, we actually have a little bit of an idea on how the card is going to shape up. We're going to talk about all that stuff here today. Some of it's blatantly obvious, some of it's interesting, to say the least. But yeah. So, but yeah, that is pretty much about it. But as for our NHP family, man, how are you guys doing? Thank you to everybody who is here in the live chat. Logan, Bell, Durante, everybody, like I said, who's here in the live chat, and my guys, a part of the Replay Mafia, JT, JB, and everybody else. Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today for this edition of the news. And how are you guys doing, man? As always, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys being here, man. So I see you guys are talking a lot about Seth Rollins, so we're gonna start with that. Um, so let's see. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because, obviously, we heard he was hurt and stuff. Rollins confirmed some things, but then we got some other piece of news. So we'll talk about that today. Um,
It's really interesting.
Belle says she's had it with wrestling fans. Belle,
I feel that.
me, me
So,
the fuck too. I mean, man, golly, if it's not. Something's always got to be wrong, man. Something's always got to be wrong. You can't have an opinion. If you like one company, you gotta completely fucking hate the other one. I mean, it is ridiculous out here, man. I mean, again, you know, I. I don't understand it sometimes, bro. I do not understand it sometimes. But regardless, she says, well, to finish out the comment, she's she says she's had it with wrestling fans on Twitter this week. All I said was I put Io Sky up there with Kenny Omega and Will, which is her opinion. This is like I said, that they cannot understand that. So that's they acted as if I said Maxine. First of all,
you
Bell,
know,
you're not wrong, okay? Well, okay. Well, first and foremost, at a base layer, yes, it is your opinion. So, um, there's no right or wrong answer. You know what I mean? We get people all the time, bro. They say, you guys are wrong for thinking X, Y, and Z. You know, you um I would say the most one of the funniest times we got it was after the Swerve and Adam Page the steel cage
Oh
match.
yeah.
Everybody was like, "This is backyard garbage." So because of my opinion that I actually love deathmatch wrestling. I I I'm
I like
I
backyard garbage.
yeah, because I like deathmatch wrestling. I like a bunch of fucking snobs in the backyard, a bunch of dorks in the backyard stabbing each other with, fucking plastic knives. That's what I like now. Okay. Wonderful.
Like that's
So,
exactly what you said
and
per them.
pretty much, dude. And w- which is crazy that you say that because I feel like EO is like in a general consensus for being like one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, like male or female. Um, I I don't see what's wrong with that, but wrestling fans, bro, fucking wrestling fans. EO is again EO. Um, for the best. I mean, the best. If we're talking about best wrestlers in the world right now, like in the ring, you're obviously looking at like EO Sky, Will Ospreay. Uh, Yeah, probably. Adam Page, was probably up there. Look, man, I don't get it. I don't see what's wrong with it. But then again, half the time, wrestling fans they're very narrow minded individuals. So
Very,
which
very minded, especially with what you said with. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, which EO,
Good.
not to mention, just put on like an absolute classic in in a main event of an all women's pay per view. So uh, I don't know, wrestling fans, bro.
I don't get it. Wrestling fans, because even like you said, like I thought Hio was one of the most commonly liked just wrestlers in general right now. I mean, I always see like people praising her on every social media platform, so I really don't get the combat to that opinion. When I think it's a very sensible opinion. I think most people would have at least somewhat agree with that. I know I would.
You know what? It just popped in my head, Bell. You probably got the brunt of AEW fans because now that I'm reading this again, you said she's up there with Kenny and Will, and to those people, Kenny and Will Ospreay are like gods walking amongst men. So like I could kind of see. Also, a lot of AEW fans probably have like Mercedes Moné or Tony Storm bias, which I'll fight the battle for Tony Storm for sure. Tony Storm and EO are easily like the the two best like as of
In the
right now.
business.
But you probably caught the brunt of some AEW fans, and when anybody gets close to their Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay conversations, they do not take kindly to that. So now that I actually thought about that a little deeper, that's probably where that stems from for sure.
Definitely. I would not be shocked.
Not at all. So let me let me. Trying something really quick to try to get Sergey's connection back right. Okay. All right. Okay. There you are.
I think it might be good now.
Okay. Yeah,
I hope so.
it was all messed up there
It
for a
was
minute.
real choppy.
Yeah, it was. Okay. All right. So yeah, she says she's sure if she asks either of those guys if EO Sky is in the conversation with them. Uh convocation, co- convocation or conversation.
Well, yeah, I think they would agree too.
I would agree with that, Bell. I would agree with that, Bell, for sure, for sure. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, 100%. No, I would absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with that opinion for sure. For sure. So, but we cannot have them, according to wrestling fans. As well, actually, no, according to Triple H, too. We cannot have them. So, Bell, you
Well,
should
fuck
have
Triple H
just
opinion.
shut up and been a fan.
Maybe she was arguing on the Triple H's burners.
You might have been. You might have been. He's probably trying to get back on Kenny and Will's
Good grief.
yeah, in their good graces. He's out there gatekeeping them. But hey, I don't see anything wrong with it, but wrestling Twitter. Then again, Bell, you got to think, man, these are the same people that these are the same people that they think everything's a work. Like I said, you have to be, you have to be a tribalist. You got to be on one side of the fucking fence or the other. Not in between. You can't like both companies. Even though these are the people, whenever AEW does something wrong, they'll be like, just love professional wrestling. But if you like something from the other company, then it's a fucking problem. And the WWE fans do the same fucking shit. So, I mean, what are you gonna do, bro? What are you gonna do? It's so bad. It's so bad. This is number one reason why I stay off Twitter 90% of the time. 90% of the time. If I'm not talking to you guys or making a post about the podcast, I just can't do it. I can't do it. It is ridiculous, man. People just be on there looking for arguments, so looking for something they can call stupid, and then they reach, like, obviously what they did with your comment. So but fucking wrestling fans, bro. Fucking wrestling fans. So like I said, man, we're gonna start you guys off with Seth Rollins. Now that I got my rant about wrestling Twitter out of the way, we're gonna start you guys off with Seth Rollins, as we're gonna talk Seth Rollins and his current injury that he is battling, so they say. So, according to Uncle Dave, Seth Rollins, oh, wait, no, that is, okay, never mind, that's a different one, that's the next story. Okay, so, according to the Rich Eisen show, Seth Rollins, featured as a guest on the show this past week, I believe it might have been yesterday morning, and he talked about his knee injury. He said his knee injury will have him out for an extended period of time. He says, and I quote, "When I landed, I felt my knee kind of pop and buckle. Monday, I was in Birmingham, Alabama, where our specialists are at. We took a look at the knee through imaging. It was a little too swollen, so we're gonna take another look, hopefully in a week or two, so that we can get a firm diagnosis and go from there. This is gonna have me out for an extended period of time. We're talking off air early. We were talking off air earlier. It's a bummer, but our business moves on. It isn't the first time I was injured, and it's not gonna be the last time." He says, "I've always got WrestleMania in the back of my mind. I'm like, can I make it back for WrestleMania season? I feel good about that. But beyond a firm timeline, I just don't know until we get a better answer on the MRI, so that's where it's at." Man. Like I said, we're going to get into a couple more stories, man, but if this is true, that does suck. However, he said, he talks about being back in time for WrestleMania season, and WrestleMania season really starts in like January. So that's good. And again, like I said, I've heard a couple rumors going around, nothing concrete, but if I have heard a couple rumors that, this is probably going to bring Rollins about 4 to 5 months, which, like we were talking on Monday, if that is true at all, we're probably looking at December or January-ish for Rollins to be back, which, like I said, we're going to get into the couple other stories we got, but if this is true, it does suck. It does. But there are a couple blessings in disguise here, and Rollins did kind of talk about that himself. Like, you obviously have the component of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Those guys are going to be able to get a lot of spotlight being that, they were pretty much like one of the top acts on Raw, but Rollins was the leader to it. And now that Rollins is gone, it seems like they're going to keep them still as a top act on Monday Night Raw, except it'll be a guy like Braun Breaker who's going to, have to, be in the situation to have to step up and try to carry that workload on. But at least, like I said, man, at least he will be back in time to be able to utilize the Money in the Bank briefcase. So, he's not going to have to relinquish the briefcase or anything like that. And then he'll be back in time for WrestleMania season. So I'm sure whatever they were planning over the next year and whatever the culmination for it, at least the culmination going into next year's Mania, is still going to be able to be fulfilled. So, like I said, it obviously is a horrible thing. We never want to hear about, especially a guy like Rollins getting hurt, but at the very least, man, like I said, he'll be back in time to, hopefully do whatever was planned, even though some things may have gotten pushed back.
Most definitely, most definitely. Like you said, it is good that like the worst possible scenario for this looks to be around December, January, which again completely is able to set him up with WrestleMania, and that's really what matters here. It will suck that, it looks like he'll probably be missing Survivor Series, and I'm
Yeah.
sure it was going to be his group versus, Babyface Justice League over there. So I'm very interested to see how they like move around him not being a part of, war games and whatnot. But either way, I think overall it's going to be good. It's going to be nice to be able to get, the other two in the group, Bronson and Braun, as fucking Michael Cole calls them,
Yeah.
time to shine on Raw. This episode of Raw, it was really nice to see, Braun Breaker really like show out and shine, and I thought that was really awesome. And they could, always build a story around, taking the spotlight. Seth coming back, maybe he might feel some type of way. Um, you know, Circumstances like this on TV can always be a positive or negative, but a lot of times you can turn negatives into positives with stories. I'm just sure it sucks for him, man. I'm sure he was getting ready for SummerSlam and the Survivor Series season, and really getting to work. And now he looks like he might be missing out on a lot of that stuff, and that sucks. But either way, whether it's short, whether it's longer, I think it's no matter what, it's a time period that won't be too badly hindered by this injury, man. So worst case scenario, I think overall everything will be fine, which is good.
For sure, man. So things get a whole lot more interesting with what came out today, because according to Mr. Dave, Uncle Dave, he's reporting that multiple people within WWE have reportedly claimed the plan was to do a Seth Rollins injury angle at Saturday night's main event and have him return at SummerSlam during Gunther versus Punk. That is very interesting. I was gonna say that is very interesting because either oh, there you are. Okay, you were dead frozen for there just a second there. But anyways, this is interesting because obviously this is gonna raise a lot of eyebrows because that is a ridiculous coincidence. If he actually is injured, the chances of that happening are very, very odd. Again, like I said, the plan is to run an injury angle, yet he actually ends up getting injured. So it's obviously going to make people think it's a work. It's definitely interesting. It definitely adds an element to it because, and a lot of people, were bringing up, what was Rollins' plan B? Why did he have to leave early to get the plan B or whatever? To perfect plan B or whatever they were talking about that one week on Monday Night Raw. A lot of people cited that as maybe a reason why, he was planning the injury angle. I don't really know why he would have to fucking leave Monday Night Raw to plan a fake injury angle, but, wrestling fans, that they're going to have their shine. But I
Saw
like
the dude jump off the bed and
it.
fucking perfect his fucking injury spot.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean he's gonna? Did he go? Did he go to? Did he go to fucking? I don't know. Did he go to an Amazon warehouse to purchase some crutches and a knee brace? I mean, what did he have to leave the show early to perfect Plan B for? I've seen a lot of people citing that as like, oh, that could be what he was going to do. That could be how he perfected Plan B. Again, half the time I question if these people think. I don't really know what exactly they mean by that, but again, like I said, this is very interesting because, like I said, obviously this is going to make people think this is a work. If again, if this was the plan, if the plan was to do an injury angle, and then he actually ended up getting hurt, that is. I could see how that raises eyebrows. I'll say that. I don't know though. I don't know. It really could be again. I mean, Rollins is a good kind of guy to run an injury angle with, like I said, because he, at the end of the day, we all know Rollins to be somewhat injury prone. So like running an injury angle with him is very believable. Is very believable. So I mean I could see where it raises eyebrows, man, but I mean we will have to wait to SummerSlam to really to really see where we're at, man. But I don't know. I will say, man, I do believe he is injured overall, man. But it is just very it's a interesting coincidence that was always the plan, and they very well could be trying to pull a fast one on us, bro.
They could, man. They could. There's a lot of weird moving pieces that goes along with this one. There's so many scenarios it could be. Maybe he thought he got injured in the match and he wasn't, and now they're playing it up. It could be this. There's a small chance, it could be a plan the whole time. Um, and it could be legitimately injured, and maybe it's not as bad as, they might have thought in that moment, and they're gonna even play it up even more. So there's many ways that this could be taken. I feel like he at least was injured in that moment, or at least, thought he was. And I think, whether he is injured and maybe it's not going to be as long as they initially thought in that moment, or this or that, I think no matter what, they're taking this opportunity of at least an injury scare at the very least, and they're running with it. And I think that's a good thing to do. That's always cool to do. And I mean, like you said, it works for Rollins, especially when it comes to like his knees, his legs, all that, which is very interesting because the Monday before, building up to Saturday night's main event, Punk literally made a knees joke about the guy, and at the show he injures his fucking leg. Um, so it's always fucking interesting with that type of shit, man. But they think there's a chance out of all the things that, wrestling fans said or is a work. I think this could be, be the most likely thing. But I feel like there is a real element to it. But if I'm if I'm a betting man, and I would say a personal guess, I feel like it's something that happened, and they're just taking that and running with it. And I feel like this is what it overall might be. But there's so many ways that this could be taken, and I feel like they're doing something. Like you said, I think we'll figure it out around SummerSlam time about how legit this might be or not. Talk to us, go. Johnny, you're muted.
Whoops. I am so sorry. Uh, okay, my bad, my bad, my bad. I freaking blanked out my camera to freaking blow my nose real quick, and I forgot to unmute myself. I am so sorry, guys. Okay, okay, my bad. Back to the original story. We got some reporting by Uncle Dave. My bad, my bad. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So he says Seth Rollins was originally planned to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam before he suffered his knee injury. Now, like I was saying, the interesting part comes in because they put out another report that completely contradicted what they reported about the original match being Rollins and Reigns. So they go on to say, the Observer as well, this came out today. They say a proposed card for SummerSlam from nearly 3 weeks ago listed a Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker match. They also talked about doing a tag match with Reigns and Jey Uso versus Breaker and Reed, which they did set up on Monday Night Raw. Uso versus Reed was also at one point earmarked for a singles match. Based on the planned card, Rollins' recent promo on Reigns was a distraction, and the direction and the Breaker direction was always planned. So they talked about that again, which a couple days ago they said Rollins and Reigns was the plan, so gotta love Uncle Dave. But how do you feel about go ahead. How do you
This sounds like classic. You know, they look at television, they read every possible match scenario from all these interactions, and they just list every one of those possible things as a possible plan for the show. I
Yep.
mean, it's literally the most, prepared, possibly for the show we could get a tag match, or we could get each guy individually singles against each other. Like no fucking way. Is that not possible? It's obvious. I think they're setting up the tag match now. Maybe, they did plan. If any of those were most likely, I could see, Seth and Roman as, they have the most personal beef against each other, especially post-Mania for a possible singles match. But, obviously that would have had to have changed. So, I think the rest of those are just obvious possible scenarios that they're just listing as possibly planned for the show. And I think it's obvious we are getting that tag match.
100%. I could have seen them doing, Braun versus Roman, but I think, I think the component that really puts, the tag match more more likely to happen is Jay. I think they want to get Jay on the show. I think, they're going to be in MetLife Stadium, so they want, their big crowd shot of everybody eating. I think they want Jay on the show. Obviously, they know he's very popular and stuff. If Jay wasn't as popular as he was per se, I do think we would be getting Roman versus Braun. But like I said, I think overall it just makes more sense right now. To do the tag match. And they said that Rollins' promo on Reigns was a distraction. And Breaker was always planned. I don't know. I don't know how much I believe that, because I mean, you expect me to believe that Seth Rollins was going to be sitting out SummerSlam and be doing what in Braun Breaker's corner? I don't really know how much I believe that. As for the idea of Jey Uso and Bronson Reed, that sounds fucking awful on SummerSlam. That is a Raw that isn't even a Raw main event. That's like a fucking top of the second hour Raw match. I mean, what is that? I mean, for SummerSlam? For SummerSlam, I guarantee you there's going to probably be some champion that doesn't get a match on SummerSlam for Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. I mean, look.
I can tell you What champion, Julia?
Yeah, yeah, either that or who the fuck are the Raw Tag Team Judgment Day? They won't be on
Oh yeah,
there.
they're not
The
no.
SmackDown Tag Champs ain't gonna be on there. So, I mean, that again, for somebody to miss out on a SummerSlam spot because WWE at one point earmarked a Jey Uso and Bronson Reed match. Now look, Jey Uso, again, that man absolutely needs somebody to lead him. And I love Bronson Reed. I do. He's my guy. You guys know me and Sir K. We got history with Bronson Reed. All right, our history runs deep with the man. But I don't think Bronson Reed is the guy to carry Jey Uso. It took Seth Rollins. I mean, we got to get to that level for Jey Uso to have a good match. All right, so unless he's got his brother in his corner, then then they can
And yeah,
absolutely put on a
knows how
banger,
to shoot off.
100%. But again, Bronson Reed and Jey Uso, whoever came up with that idea is a fucking crackhead, because I don't know what kind of wrestling you want to watch on your SummerSlam, but it ain't that. So again, as much as I would love a Roman versus Braun Breaker match, if that means we have to get Jey Uso and Bronson Reed, then for now, I will happily just take the tag match. Because yeah, that just no, absolutely not for that. But regardless, it is very interesting to hear. Like I said, the Wrestling Observer kind of contradicted themselves with the whole Rollins thing. Honestly, man, I believe the Rollins. If Rollins was not hurt, I believe Rollins would have got the Reigns match before Breaker did.
Yeah.
If anything, I could see, the Breaker match being. I could maybe see them pulling that out for like a Mania. That just doesn't seem like that seems like a match WWE would want to do at WrestleMania in like a couple of years, depending on how long Roman's got left as full time. But well, if you could even call him that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. But yeah, Jey Uso and Bronson Reed, bro. I almost fell over when I read that. I can't lie to you guys, man. That absolutely just sounded like that sounded just haunting. It really did.
Yeah, that sounds like an absolute nightmare. Like you said, I could definitely see the Braun versus or Braun. Sorry, Michael calling me.
Braun.
The Braun versus Roman is like maybe their first thought is like the backup match when Seth went down, but I think it was pretty obvious the tag match was right in their face, and that's what they're going with. But wrestling journalism got to fucking throw out every possible scenario, so they're technically not wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. And like you said, man, it really is a case of, they look at what's going on television, they hear these little things about this is exactly what happened. 2 weeks ago, Rollins called out Roman, or Heyman called out Roman. I mean, he talked about Roman, don't got the balls to come back. Immediately they were like, we're going to put out a story. Oh, the plan is Rollins and Reigns at SummerSlam. But then this past week when Paul Heyman called Braun Breaker the big dog, they were like, "Oh, that was the match they
Oh,
were gonna go
match.
with." Because honestly, when they dropped the line about the next big thing, I said to myself, I said to myself, I was like, "Oh, I'm sure we're gonna hear in the news." WWE
Yeah.
has earmarked Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker. I was waiting for it. I'm surprised we didn't get it. I'm sure we'll get it soon. Or I was just waiting to hear WWE thinking about doing Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, the Ultimate Enemies, having to team up to take down. I was waiting for it, especially when Heyman dropped both the nicknames and he called Braun the next big thing and he called him the big dog. I completely I was waiting for it, and like I said, I ended up being wrong, and I'm very shocked by that because I fully expected to hear something like that. So I don't know. We'll see how
Oh,
desperate
dude.
WWE gets.
What I was waiting for is the classic fucking dirt sheets fucking report of, bro, don't count out an appearance
Yep.
by Brock Lesnar. Don't count it out. It's always possible. The classic garbage they're always gonna tweet. Again,
He
just in
could
case
be
they can
back,
never be wrong,
but he
he
couldn't.
could be back. Don't but it's not likely, but he could. It's literally the most we're trying our hardest not to ever be wrong. So we're just gonna fucking just shit out what every opinion possible in every
Reach.
scenario possible. Region, exactly, man. Wrestling journalists. So that's what I thought when I instantly heard that line. Even though I think I said it on Tuesday, but my instant thought was that line was, Braun is my next, Brock per se of the guy I'm going to advocate for next.
Yeah.
But wrestling fans and journalists, it's all they mentioned a name, that means a match is gonna happen.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, I took it the same way. Paul Heyman took Brock Lesnar from the next big thing to the Beast. He took Roman Reigns from the big dog to the tribal chief. All I took that as was he was going to take Braun Breaker from, what he was to a fucking superstar. And again, Paul Heyman
Exactly.
kind of just dipping into his history a little bit. And I think that's cool, but a lot of wrestling fans they'll immediately go to the Brock's coming back, which I mean, obviously I get dropping a line like that would make one think that, but again, this is Brock Lesnar, and WWE. Look at what WWE did to Vince McMahon once his name was involved with his lawsuits, and Brock Lesnar's name is attached to that. So like, maybe as much as Triple H would like to fantasy book Brock on there, I just don't think TKO is really willing to take on that baggage just yet. You know what I mean? Maybe if things get a little more clearer for Brock, which it doesn't really look like it, but maybe if things do kind of clear up, if they do, I could see them bringing him back. But then again, if they bring him back,
Ooh,
it's complete desperation, and I don't know why, because they have a great
exactly.
roster, but it's complete desperation for sure. I mean, they're stealing fucking
Oh,
talent from
100%.
AEW left and right. I don't really know what you need Brock Lesnar back for at this point,
I
but
was gonna say you're drowning in talent. You don't know what to do with half of them. You're starting to AEW some of your guys, and you're just fucking just benching them. Even though WWE doesn't bench
nope.
people, by the way. But you're obviously fucking benching people. And it would you like you said, it'd be a pure act of just sad desperation
Yeah.
to call that fucking guy in.
You got a guy, I can't believe I'm even saying this. You got a guy like Drew McIntyre who we heard last year that I always mention it, but he was
Be a
going to be a
career
huge
year.
focus in 2025. He was going to have a career year in 2025. Remember the story that WWE wanted to make him one of their big draws alongside a Roman Reigns or a Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes as faces of the company type of guy? Let me ask you a question. Would you put Roman Reigns in a
Yeah.
fucking match with Logan Paul against Jelly Roll and Randy Orton? No. So why are you doing it
No.
to Drew?
Uh, Oh, WWE.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't understand.
So, yeah. I mean, that is so that's the news on Rollins' injury. That's the news on the SummerSlam plans for Rollins and for his group, Rollins and Company, the Seth Riders. So, yeah, that is that. And we actually have, going back to the Roman and Braun match, how I envision Roman's next two WrestleManias going, if I'm being honest, because I think he said he's got two more left. Assuming two more left as full time. Assuming that who is not going to come back, because I'm tired of it. Um, I would assume we will be getting a breaker match and a match against Jacob Fatu. I would assume. Um, Now again, that's not taking into account Rock, because I'm at this point we just cannot
Step his
take
foot
it.
in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he'll come back and you know, yeah,
With my
or
fucking boy.
Yeah, he'll come back and he'll tease, sitting at the head of the table just to, never fucking show up ever again. So again, I'm not gonna take that into account, but assuming Rock doesn't come back. And even if they do the Rock and Roman match, I could very well see that being when Roman is like part-time and there's going to be a year down the line where it clears up and they both just say, "Hey, I'm not filming a movie right now, are you?" "No, I'm not." "Hey, you want to fucking hit up Paul and see if he'll let us fucking fight at WrestleMania?" And then they'll do it then. That is honestly how I see that going. But
Exactly.
as for this being full-time, or his last two full-time WrestleMania seasons. Like I said, if you can even call it that, I see Breaker and Fatu. I think those are actually we have a story on that, so I could see those being the matches
Most
for him.
definitely. Yeah.
Breaker very well may be the Mania match this upcoming year.
Be
So,
shocked. I really wouldn't be shocked.
so speaking of Jacob Fatu, according to WrestleVotes, WWE's Jacob Fatu's rise as a top-tier babyface is underway within WWE. WWE are ready to evaluate his profile, not just on screen, but through heavy promotion and public appearances. It is expected Fatu will have exclusive city-themed merch coming soon. Well, they got the US title off of him, and I think I do eventually think that he will probably end up losing the feud to Solo, probably just by numbers, which is good. It's a good way to keep him strong, yet also keep Solo looking strong. So I think they found a good medium with, like, Jacob just being completely outnumbered. But as for his rise as a top babyface, we all knew it was coming. It's not a matter of if, really. It's a matter of when. When is WWE going to finally decide, or when are they going to decide that, creatively things have cleared up enough for them to really give Jacob the ball and let him run with it? And I think that time is coming soon. I could very well see 2026 or Mania 2027 being, the time when he actually, gets his hands on like a world championship. I think it's coming soon. I'm glad they think of him that way. He's up there with, Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns for my favorite active male competitors on the roster right now. Of just guys I think I'll just put out the most solid work is probably Fatu, Sammy, um Roman and Punk,
LA Knight.
probably.
Yeah.
LA's up there for me as well. But uh again, like I said, I know he's one of my favorites. I know he's a lot of your guy some of a lot of your guys' favorites as well. Um yeah, my only thing I think they need to work on Fatu with is the constant catchphrasing. That's literally the only thing, which is such an easy problem to fix, which he's even the past couple weeks been doing better at. I will say that they've been a lot better with just having him just kind of say his catchphrases at the end, similar to how LA Knight does, but just for a while, it just seemed like that was any promo he can cut. And again, we know he can talk, so I know it's not even really a problem. It's just, is WWE going to allow him to do that? You know what I mean? So it's not a problem of his at all. But no, I know he's ready. We all know he's ready, and he's right now, man. He's really just doing the due diligence of just being in this feud with Solo and actually doing putting together a decent story rather than just shooting him up to the main event scene. That they're trying to get him there organically, which I can absolutely appreciate. That was a problem in the Vince era all the time, was people would just, if he wanted you there, then you were overnight there. Look at fucking Jinder Mahal. So that was a huge problem in the Vince era. But here with Jacob, like I said, he's worked his way up. He's worked his way up through being a heavy. you know what I mean, being a muscle. Then, you know, kind of off on his own doing, you know, just single stuff. Then to the US title. You know, now he's in, you know, an actual storyline with Solo Sikoa. So it's been organic. I can appreciate it, and we all know he's going to be there. Like I said, it is not a matter of if he will make it to the main event scene. It's a matter of when.
Exactly, exactly. It is a matter of when, and Jacob Fatu, in terms of the way the company sees him, I don't see a kind of LA Knight scenario where they say they're going to use him, but they're really not. I really do see it as they are just genuinely want to take their time and have him eventually, in like a year time, be at that top level, in that top spot, doing top shit, and I could definitely see that. I mean, the man's great. He's great on the mic, great in the ring, great in programs. I think this solo program is really what they're working for. I think he's gonna put over Solo, and then he's gonna slowly make his way up the card. And I like it, man. I like it. Like you said, the catchphrase thing, it can be a problem. That's more of a common WWE problem in general.
Yep.
Flanderization is a big problem that WWE puts on their own people. I mean, there was literally that one instance. I'm glad they instantly stopped that, where they had Braun Breaker fucking bark at someone backstage. So it's a very common problem in WWE, but I'm very glad they seem to kind of be deterring away for not only Breaker, but Jacob Fatu, man. So I hope they keep that up that steam, and I think he's been doing really good, and I think the future does genuinely hold bright for Jacob Fatu, and I hope so. I think he'll definitely fit well up there with those top guys.
Bro, every time Braun Breaker barking is mentioned, I think about that fucking edit that was made where it's like Rollins and Breaker and they're backstage and somebody edited in a fucking doorbell. and, and as soon as the doorbell goes off, Braun Breaker just starts bro, that shit.
Someone should add the fucking ring doorbell time.
Bro, that's what it was, bro. That's what it was. It was that doorbell, dude, and immediately just and he just and he just walks off. Oh man, I'll have to find it and send it to you, bro. That shit. Oh my god. Every time I think of him fucking barking, I think of that
Hilarious.
video, bro. But yeah, so speaking of Jacob Fatu, he's actually got some running buddies. Huh? Right? He has
He's got
some.
him and his group, him and company,
He
all
does.
the things they say.
He does have some company for who WWE views as the next top stars for the company. So, according to the Observer, WWE reportedly has plans to position Rhea Ripley, Jacob Fatu, and Braun Breaker as the next top stars for the company.
I thought I kind of always assumed for the past like 2 years Rhea kind of been solidified in that spot, but it's good that they, to me, still think of her because I think she's kind of already there in terms of scale. She's
For
probably
sure.
the most famous women's wrestler in the modern era.
100%. That was the one name that was interesting to me, where I was like, she's already been women's champion like multiple times over. Like, what do you mean you're gonna position
She
her as the next top star? Like,
was
she like with WWE, like, you know. Well, I honestly, man, I really wouldn't count her Vince Reigns. Those were horrible. But like the first time Triple H put the title on her, that to me was like the solidifier of like, okay, now when you lose the title, this is really the telling point of whether Triple H is going to really ride with you, or if he's going to kind of, brush you to the side. And with Rhea, it's been solidified. Once she dropped that championship and she went out, you know what I mean? It was like, that was really the tell all. Like, okay, is Triple H, did Triple H see you as like, okay, you were popular now you're not really as big of a star as you used to be? Or, okay, you're coming back and like this is a big deal because you're one of our top stars. And obviously he brought her back as the second option, as okay, we're bringing you back in the top spot because you're one of our top stars. Like I said, with Triple H, that's really the tell all. When somebody drops their championship, when he puts you in that spot and you drop the championship, if he continues to look at you as an upper echelon, type of talent, you will know it. Otherwise you will kind of, just kind of get swept under the rug and we'll kind of forget about you because I gave you this run. You didn't really perform the way I thought. Look at like Nakamura. And now we're just gonna kind of brush you away because it didn't really work out and I don't really care to use you anymore. Like I said, with Rhea, it's been solidified for a long time. Like I said, she's WWE should, if we're talking about the future of the women's division, WWE, Tiffany Stratton, I mean, the girl is 25 years old, bro. I mean, that's, so you obviously got to look at her. She's going to be around for like the next 15 years. And she's going to be an OG in that division. You should be looking at like Sol Ruka, as who else? Mariah May is obviously another one. Stephanie Vaquer. Those are like, to me, those are the names that should be positioned to be the next top stars. I think Rhea is there. Like I said, Rhea is like of the 2020s decade. She's like the star of the women's division. At least one of. So to me, Rhea was already there, but Braun and Fatu, like I said, they haven't won their first world title yet, and I'm sure it's coming soon. So I could very, that's obviously believable. I think, which is interesting because a while ago, we heard that WWE's main focuses for the future were Gunther and Solo Sikoa. So it's interesting to see that Solo's name is not mentioned. Again, Gunther is a world champion, so I could see him already kind of being there.
Yeah.
Not, again, Gunther's not the draw to the level that like a Roman Reigns is, but he's one of their top guys. He's one of their workhorse guys. He's kind of like the Bret Hart of this era. So, like I said, just
like the wrestling fans love him.
yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly. He caters like exactly. He caters to, you know what I mean, like how a lot of people look at like Bret Hart. Like I said, like people
Like
just
you said, Bret Hart.
yeah,
Yeah.
people just they look at him and they just like they admire his like that he's a workhorse, right? That's kind of the spot Gunther's in. But it's interesting Solo's name isn't not mentioned there. But even at that, man, I still do really think that they really like Solo. And I feel he will one day make that main event. I think Fatu will get there before him
I think
now.
so.
But I think he will be there for
Yeah.
sure.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. And Bell mentions that's just very true. People need to stop underrating Rhea Ripley as a wrestler. You were saying, you saw her solidified, when Triple H gave her, when that one, title reign,
The
all
win
those title
against
reigns.
Charlotte, bro.
Um, the win
That was a
against Charlotte is massive. And
banger match, by the
mhm,
way. I'm sorry, bro.
banger match, banger match. Oh no, you're good. Um, Another thing that always solidifies people is how much fans complain about them being in top spots. That's always the solidification that someone is a top star, is when people complain anytime they might even have a chance for a title shot. That's how you know someone's a top star, is when fans just fucking needlessly complain about how much we see that person. Um, but
Yeah.
Rhea's great as a wrestler. There's a reason she's at the top spot she is.
Yep.
Every major match she's in is an absolute banger, and I mean it's fucking obvious.
Bro, look again, like you said, run the tape back, bro. You look at WrestleMania 39. That was one of the best women's matches in company history, in my opinion. That was a fucking amazing match with Charlotte. Fast forward 1 year, she faces another GOAT of the division, Becky. Well, Charlotte's not a GOAT of the division, in my honest opinion. She's a GOAT in WWE's eyes, but she faces Becky. Banger fucking match. And then, what was it? Earlier this year on Monday Night Raw, she had a great match with Io Sky. WrestleMania, she had one of the matches of the weekend. People look at those two triple threats so fondly as the best part about WrestleMania. Some people would put Rhea, Io, and Bianca over Punk, Roman, and Rollins. I would probably say the Punk, Roman, and Rollins one over for me, but it's not. It's not. They're not far off. So you look at that.
Like,
Uh,
mhm.
and then and then it had Evolution. Like it really does boggle my mind. And like Sir K says, she is in that position for a reason, and it really boggles my mind sometimes how people sleep on Rhea Ripley in the ring, bro. Like it doesn't. It doesn't, again, bro. Just because somebody's not Will Ospreay doesn't mean they're bad in the ring. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just it is a, again, just because Rhea Ripley's not out there doing fucking handspring Hurricane Ranas and she's not fucking moving around like Bandito, it doesn't mean she's not a bad wrestler, bro. I mean, again, look at the track record, bro. I get that though, and people do piss me off with that for sure. I don't know how so many people, a lot of people sleep on Rhea as a wrestler, man, and it's crazy work. It's crazy work.
I always call it, personally for me, the LA Knight effect. They think, like, if to wrestling fans, it's always debate of, promo and like character versus wrestling. For
Yeah,
wrestling fans, they think if you have one, you cannot have the other, or you don't. And I always see LA Knight as like one of the best examples of that. LA Knight's great
bro.
on the mic. He has one of the big catchphrases. So people automatically assume he can't wrestle when he's one of their most constant fucking match of the night guys they have. And they do the same thing with Rhea. They think just because you have character and like a catchphrase or a thing that you are automatically like some bad wrestler, when that is not the case at all.
It's like, man, it is. Man, don't even get me started on LA Knight, bro. No, it is. It's like people look at like Jey Uso, for example, and they think like everybody's like that. Which even Jay in himself, um, half the
That's
time I
bad.
think he's just being
Bad.
lazy. He's not a bad you cannot tell me Jey Uso
Yeah,
is a flat out bad wrestler. I just think he kind of got in his formula and he kind of just doesn't like to go outside of that.
he
He,
sticks to it.
yeah, that's what I think it is. That's what I think it is with Jay. But like people automatically assume like, oh, you have a catchphrase, da 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 da, or like people always try they try to do that a lot with Bobby Roode as well. Remember when people try to say he was like a bad wrestler? Like, dude, just because somebody is more character driven does not mean they're a bad wrestler. But LA Knight is another one, man. It's like, clearly you're not fucking watching the guy's matches, because another highlight from WrestleMania was his match against Jacob Fatu. So I don't, and two, with LA, bro, every time this dude is on pay-per-view, he has one of the best matches on the card. So I do not understand
Exactly.
it. He can work his ass off, bro. He's a very good wrestler.
Mhm. I don't
So
get it, man. I don't fucking get it. Wrestling fans never
yeah,
fails.
Bell got me started, bro. God damn. I'm glad Charlotte is out of the title picture too. I've actually been liking what her and Alexa Bliss have been doing. It's low key, and it's
Yeah,
like it's a fun story. Like it's a fun
it is.
story of like two people that hate each other, but they're trying to, like, in a weird way, push each other to be better. It's a simple enough
Yeah,
story, and it keeps Charlotte out of the fucking title picture.
exactly, dude. Exactly. It's an actual good version of the can they coexist story because they make it fun.
Yeah, definitely. So yes, that's the thing. Jay, again, to say that Jay is bad, you can't tell me Jay is bad. To me, Jay is just, I think Jay got so great in the habit of being a tag team wrestler, it might be too
Yeah.
much of an adjustment to do singles. It might be.
Yeah, he does his singles matches like he's a tag team guy. There's instances where in the match where it's like, okay, this is where, Jimmy would come
Hot
in
tag.
and fill the gap in this
Yep.
match.
And
Exactly.
and he and
So
instead he's fucking sitting there looking into the crowd like he's got three fucking heads.
like, for sure. Exactly. That is where the hot tag would have been. Is right in those moments where he's looking around at the crowd, man. So he's a tag team guy
Yeah.
in singles matches. But again, he's not fucking horrible. He's just they're all the same, and it's just that start and stop shit that we always talk about in those matches
German suplex.
where the hot
Look. Uppercut. Look. Uppercut. Look. Like, I mean, it is, it is something, bro. But speaking of Fatu, according to WrestleVotes, the current plan for SummerSlam is blood versus blood. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa inside a steel cage.
They got it when they make the graphic. They got to make it blood, BLOOD versus BLUD. They got
Bro.
to do it like that, bro. There's
Oh,
no other way.
I would have never guessed this is blood versus blood. I thought this was blood versus Crip. That's what I thought. I
Exactly.
I would have never thought. WWE and their fucking taglines, dude. That is that is hilarious. Blood versus blood. BLOOD versus BLUD. Make it happen, please.
They gotta do it like that, dude. There's no other way. I won't take the other way around.
And send Sergey his check afterwards. So, but
Exactly.
as
We
long
need our
as long
well,
as we get the graphic,
we both need our check from Tony Khan and Triple H
bro.
respectively.
Oh my
We should be fucking dead rich right now from the checks what they fucking owe us, man. But
You know, I
yeah, man, do that
predicted
shit.
months in advance. I gave Tony Khan the idea. You know what would be a great idea? We need to link up Bandito and Brody King. And he did it. He listened to my advice.
Oh yeah, Brody King.
Banger group. Banger
Fucking-
homies.
all the advice he'd fucking listen to. It's fucking those two fucking friends for some reason.
Who told him that? Like,
Like, did he just happen to like make the match one night and he's like, you know what? I fucking love these two together, man. Let's make this a thing.
bro, where did that come
Actually, that's probably what happened. Actually, no, that's the most Tony Khan thing ever.
Oh man, that dude. So yeah, Jacob Fatu Solo, blood versus blood inside of a steel cage. So, they're going to keep everyone out. Meanwhile, it is going to be filled with interferences. So you know how that whole thing goes.
It's gonna be, it's gonna be the classic WWE main event Bloodline Rules match every fucking pay-per-view ever
Yep.
since Bloodline Rules.
Every steel cage match, they say we're gonna keep everyone out, and then the commentators act like they've never seen someone climb a cage before, and they're like, "Oh my god, JC, the nerd, he's climbing the cage," and they're gonna act all shocked, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, Tongaloa's opening the door," as if they've never seen anybody open a fucking steel cage door before. So you already know, yeah.
He thinks there's a Scholastic book fair behind the cage. He's climbing it.
JC fire hydrant. He's climbing the cage. I mean,
Fuck, man. Like, you know how it. Yeah, we basically just booked that whole match verbatim.
Bell, you're gonna have to teach me how a east, north, or southeast London accent sounds. I need to know how you guys say blood.
That was horrible. That was god awful.
Blood.
Blood. I can't do it either.
You just fucking did the
I
same
can't do
thing.
it.
What do you mean it's horrible?
Mine was horrible. Yours was horrible. So both of ours are
I got
horrible.
fire.
But I always
I got fire.
you do not.
Blood for London for British accents. Okay.
I always see fucking British people talk about like the differences in British accent, and obviously as American, I can never actually hear the difference. So it's always so funny to me.
Yeah. So it's always interesting when people say like I or like somebody that I know has like a Chicago accent, because I just don't
Yeah,
I don't
it's
get it. It's just
yeah, exactly.
just
To me, and like that's not like
yeah.
an accent. But then I'll hear someone like, you ever heard like a motherfucker from Baltimore talk?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, that's a completely separate human being.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, accents are funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand it. I wouldn't understand it, Bell, but I definitely understand where you're coming from because you could definitely tell, like you said, people from Baltimore, people from New York, people from Memphis, people from California,
Mm.
people from Oregon, like people just there's a lot of different accents over here. Even in the state of Illinois, you can tell that the accents from people from Kankakee, people from downstate Illinois, like people from I mean it's you. There's a bit of a difference. Like you got to be from there to really
No,
really know it. So I get that for sure. But anyways, speaking of a guy we just mentioned, and that being Gunther. We just mentioned Gunther. We talked about how he is kind of perceived by WWE, and this is a huge proponent. If this is true, um, if the, if if did I do a King's English accent? Man, I'm fucking good, dude.
the king. I would prefer that over any accent. The king accent.
Bell, what kind of accent do you have? I need. Are you are
Yeah.
you
What?
are you East Side? Are you South Side?
Are you? Oh,
Is Bell South
you know,
Sider? We in Chicago terms, we are South Siders. Are we?
we are.
I think Bell might be a South Sider. I think so.
I get that vibe. Either that or east. I don't know why I'm thinking east.
Bell could be from the East Side, bro. There's no way Bell's from the West Side.
No, no, there's no way. I think it's either south or east.
So, so, uh, so, anyways, Jesus. So back to Gunther. We know where Sir K's from. Well, if I know where Sir K's from, but I know where Sir K wants to be. Okay, he wants to be on the northwest side. Okay, we know that. So, um,
Oh,
you guys are stupid,
English
bro.
posh. Dude, you're posh, bro.
Dude, I'm fucking posh, bro. I might be posh.
I like it. You're posh, bro.
I'm English posh.
Hey,
We already know though. We already know. B- Belle knows because she's repping East Side, bro. But anyways,
like southeast. See?
oh my God, we were both right. Oh man,
Look at that.
she has a
That's
Cockney
hilarious.
accent.
Is that like
I
more
would.
of a street accent?
All right, I see. See, even Belle. Okay, if I'm taking my context clues here, Belle spells blood Blud. She's from the southeast side. I think
It's a
Belle might be from
Cockney
the streets of London. I will
I
look
think
up
she is.
a Cockney accent. I need to hear what this sounds like.
Hold on.
And so, anyways, let's fucking get on with the wrestling news here. So according to like I was saying, man, Gunther, if this is true, this is huge. Like legit, this is huge for the man's career. Because according to WRKD Wrestling, Gunther is currently planned as John Cena's final opponent. Now, again, this is WRKD Wrestling, so take it with a grain of salt. We've done a couple of their stories before, and again, take it with a grain of salt. But bro, how do you feel about this? How do you legit, bro? How do you feel about this? And is this something that you would be wanting to see? And how the hell do you think we get here?
Very interesting, man, because I always said, Punk was my, pick for, to retire Cena. If it's not a guy from his era and it is, one of these modern, quote, new guys, Gunther probably would have been my top pick anyway. So, I actually really like the sound of that, man. Howdy there is very interesting because they both have world championship matches at SummerSlam. They both could, be world champion post SummerSlam. They both could not. One of them could be, the other couldn't be. There's literally like five different scenarios post SummerSlam that they could be. So maybe it's for one guy's belt, maybe it's for other, maybe it's for not a belt. Fucking million scenarios with that, man. But I would love it. I'd be down for that. It'd be a great look for Gunther. I would assume at that point that that will mean to me that John Cena would turn back babyface
Hmm.
post SummerSlam, and there would be a heel Gunther, facing him. And I fucking love the sound of that. I'm down for that very much. I think that'll be really good. If for me, it's either if it's an older guy in his era, it would be Punk. If it's more of a modern guy in this modern era, it probably would have been Gunther as my top pick, man. So I actually really love that. I hope that's true, man. I hope that's true. But what about you, man? What do you think about that?
Absolutely, dude. I think this is great. I'm on the same page as you, man. This was obviously one of the big matches that I think a lot of people wanted to see. I wanted to see this for the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. Originally, before anything happened with John Cena, I'm talking 2024 Money in the Bank when he announced that retirement tour. Um, I was
Yep.
all in for John Cena winning the Royal Rumble, going on to challenge Gunther at WrestleMania. I think that would have been great. However, it's not how things worked out. And so far, personally, I have been happy with the heel run, and I am excited to hear about this because, like you said, this can really only mean John Cena is going to turn back babyface. And I like the sound of that. And I like the sound of seeing where this whole story goes, man. So the only thing that kind of sucks with that is it kind of leads me to believe that Cody is going to take the championship back, which I
Yeah.
can rather do without another Cody reign, but I will. I just think he should have dropped it to somebody different. But um,
If he's heel, I'll be more okay with it because it'll be something different.
the thing is, though, I feel they may keep him as a babyface because because they've been teasing this whole feud with Drew McIntyre and Drew saying he wants to take the title from Cody. I could see that
Oh,
being the Mania match unless WWE wants to fast track it and put they're gonna need the if they want to fast track it, they would do it in the fall. But then again, I could see like Drew teaming with Rollins's group if they want, being that Rollins won't be there anymore, if they want with the Seth Riders, if they want to establish some sort of team for War Games, I could see Drew doing that against like Cody, Cena, Punk, and a Roman and a group of the babyface Justice League, like you said. I could very well see that, and I could, obviously we would love the idea of the double turn. WWE, that's too risky for them. I feel they would want
yeah.
to. I feel like they will just go with the plain old, you know, Cody wins as a baby face. John Cena finally has the moment of realization, and you know, wants to, I
It'll
don't,
be simple. It'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
safe.
But the good thing that would come out of that, obviously, like we said, is Gunther is going to Gunther's going to be his final opponent, and I really like the sound of that. I think that feud's going to be amazing. I think Gunther's going to slaughter John Cena on the mic. But the best part about that is John is going to slaughter him right back, and it is going to be some great fucking shit on the mic. Like I said, both of these guys can go toe to toe on the microphone. John Cena's very John Cena's approach to a promo and Gunther's approach to a promo, I think is gonna mix very, very well, and I think it's gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
great. And I really, really, really hope, um, I really hope this is the way they go, man. I really hope this is the way they go. And I think that's an amazing last match for John. I was scared they were going to, if they do the Crown Jewel title stuff again, I was scared we were going to get this in a dumbass champion versus champion match. But Gunther being the guy to do that, to do the honor of having John's last match, man, that's fucking awesome if you ask me. I think that's great, man. But somebody will be losing their championship at SummerSlam, and it'll probably
I
be
think,
John.
yeah, if I'm a betting man, it would be if Seth, because they're, maybe Seth, it will be fine for SummerSlam. I could see him costing Punk. I could still see Roman costing Punk in some type of way. Man, there's so many scenarios where I don't think CM Punk walks out of SummerSlam as champion. And I think there's so many scenarios where I could see them having Cody walk out as champion. So I think Cody's the most likely winner out of those two world title matches.
I think so. Man. So yeah, that is the news for Gunther and Cena. As for Gunther, according to PW Insider, Gunther's SummerSlam plans were already set in stone prior to WWE's Saturday night's main event show. Gunther's storyline for SummerSlam will begin this Monday on Monday Night Raw. So obviously we've seen the gauntlet match, CM Punk. So obviously, I think this came out Sunday or whatever. But so it looks like they had his SummerSlam plan set in stone for a while, which is good, man. Which is good because again, like we always talk about with the first title reign for Gunther, that shit just seemed like the most. We want to do a big name, but yeah, we'll just fuck around and fucking play it safe with Damian fucking Priest because it's fall and who really cares? Which made the world title program last fall fucking abysmal on Monday Night Raw, to be honest.
Fuck it, man. Oh, that was a rough that was a rough fucking title reign, man.
Oof.
But for both fucking from Priest and Gunther, like that transition was just fucking rough, dude. But yeah, man, it's good. It's good that they had this plan. I think it's an obvious plan to have. Everybody has wanted, a lot of people want a lot of matches with Gunther. Punk is also one of those matches, so I'm glad we're getting it.
I don't know if they're ever gonna do it, but I would love to see Gunther in there with like Roman, those kind of guys, man.
That'd be so fire, dude.
It would. So Gunther, like we just talked about, man, he might have a big year. He might have a final 5 months. He might have a big final 5 months of this year, man, because he might get to retire 2 men in 1 year. The first,
It's crazy.
we just saw it, being Goldberg. Let's talk a little bit about Goldberg, man. Hopefully this is the fucking last time we have to talk about Goldberg, to be honest. According to the Ariel Helwani show, Goldberg says he is pissed off with the way he retired. He says, let's just say I'm pissed off the way I went out. I put so much into it, and I don't feel as though the effort was reciprocated to put a stamp on what I've accomplished. Again, I'm not going to say that I'm not ecstatic with the opportunity that I got. I think I could have done it all a little. I think it could have been done a little differently. That's all. He says, 20 freaking seconds with the microphone in my hand, for God's sakes. Every ultimate rib, right? I'm not saying it was done on purpose by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying that it was not prepared for on. What? So, that's all. They wouldn't do that to Taker, right? I don't think so. They're not going to do that to Cena. Cena's going all around the world doing his retirement tour, a World Heavyweight Championship match. I think. Let me see. Oh. Okay, and he also goes on to say, I thought I had one more. Also goes on to say he is retired in principle.
God. Mm.
Oh, okay. I think. Hello. Okay, I think we're bouncing back. Okay, kind of.
Am I back?
Okay, there you are.
Okay. Good Lord.
And the last
Fucking
thing.
what a day for my wife.
I know, dude. What is going on today? So, Okay. Good God. Okay. I think we're back. I apologize for that. Okay. The last thing about Bill Goldberg we had to go over, he says he is retired in principle. He says, I can't say I'm truly retired. In principle, yeah, I'm done. But I worked my ass off for 5 months. Don't know if I want to kickstart that again and say, guess what? I didn't retire. I want to go one more time. He says, you don't plan stuff like that. In a world of professional wrestling, I guess you're not retired until you're dead. In principle, yeah, I'm retired.
Old wrestlers, they just can't help themselves. They have to just show up and relive their glory days. Oh, good old Bill Goldberg.
To me, Bill is mad about having the microphone for 20 seconds. He didn't get his full retirement speech, which I think WWE even uploaded on YouTube because they have hard cutoffs that they need to, get to for NBC. It's like a hard cutoff at 9:00. So
Yeah.
dude, this guy, man, this guy just he can't help himself, man. He cannot help himself but to bitch about absolutely anything. He bitches about Asuka taking his undefeated streak. There was, I don't even think there was any mention in this entire interview Gunther carrying him to his fucking last retirement, his last retirement match. There was no mention of anything. All it is about Goldberg, which, look, it is your retirement, and yeah, I mean, I get you wanted to end it, nicely, but again, it is also WWE's fault that, they put, I guess, enough matches on the show to really take up all the time and didn't really get to give the man the time of day. But at the end of the day, I don't really think WWE really wanted to do all this shit anyway. I honestly think this was I honestly think that this was some sort of combat to what AEW had going on for the weekend, and they wanted to, like I said, they wanted to compete with AEW, and they wanted to throw Goldberg out there in some type of in some type of way to maybe try to help them out a little bit in the ratings,
Oh yeah.
um but
Oh, it was the most obvious. Goldberg's been talking to us about a retirement tour. We want to counter program this. Boom. Let's do it.
yes, I really feel that that is that is all they kind of used it for. Um I mean, was it shitty of them? Was it shitty of them to do him like that for his retirement speech? Sure, but at the end of the day, like I said, I don't think it's something they wanted to do anyway. I think he should be lucky he even
Yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
I get to an extent why he's upset. That is his retirement. But to the fans, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter to most of us. It does suck. His speech got cut off. I would think WWE was still filming anyway and could have just dropped the rest of the footage on Raw and called it a day.
I
I
think they
don't
did
think
on
they did that on
YouTube,
Raw.
but yeah, not
Oh
on
yeah,
Raw.
well, exactly. So it exists out there. Yeah, so it is what it is, man. I get why he's upset to him, but to most other people, people just want him gone anyway. So deuces, man.
Honestly, honestly, man. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. LOL. Goldberg's bitching about something. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe all your selfishness caught up to you, man. Maybe that's what we like to call karma. So, too bad.
Exactly.
Too bad, Bill. Well, speaking of too bad, because of Bill, according to referee Charles Robinson on Instagram, he confirmed that he suffered cracked ribs due to Goldberg's spear at Saturday night's main event.
Had to injure somebody.
Isn't that just poetic? Goldberg's last match
Oh, dude.
had to fucking include an injury, a legit injury.
Never change, Goldberg. Never change. Man can't help himself. Man can't help himself.
No, he cannot. No, he cannot, man. So hope Ref Charles gets healed up soon, man, and he's back doing his thing sooner rather than later. But what do you know? Goldberg's last match included him injuring somebody, a referee. My God. So yeah, gotta love Goldberg, man. Gotta love Goldberg. Yeah. Hopefully he's gone. Hopefully he's gone for good. And again, I could see why he's mad, but most wrestling fans didn't really care to see the guy anyway. So good riddance. Um. So, and I mean honestly, man, you're so hung up about this retirement match. Look at all the fucking things you've done that most active members of the roster have not even done, bro. You are a two-time Universal Champion. You pinned Kevin Owens clean to win the championship. You were the first member of the roster to beat the Fiend.
Literally.
You had WrestleMania matches up the ass. You got paid out the ass to go to Saudi Arabia and wrestle these nostalgic shit matches. All the things you were Holy fucking internet, everybody. Jesus
Good
Christ.
Lord.
Okay. I apologize again for the fucking Wi-Fi huddle or hurdle that we need to fucking constantly jump over. However, we are back. Back to what I was saying, just to wrap up the Goldberg stuff. You know, he has his reasons to be upset or whatever. Honestly, bro, I really think he should just maybe look into being more appreciative of things around him, man. Most people do not get a retirement match. Most people don't even fucking know when their last match is going to happen. Look at fucking Adam Cole, a guy we're going to talk about very shortly here. For a long time, Bryan, Edge, all these type of guys, Bret Hart. I know that's more of Bill's fault, but most people don't know when when their last match is going to be, man. So, again, he should maybe look into being a little bit more appreciative of the things that he is fortunate enough to do. Like I said, this guy beat Kevin Owens, a young star at the time, young Universal Champion Kevin Owens beat him for the Universal title. He was the first fucking guy to beat The Fiend. Again, he should be a little more appreciative and just learn when it's time to just shut up.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So, with that, we got some news on Travis Scott. According to WrestleVotes, regarding Travis Scott in WWE, Scott was said to be not a quick learner of the business, which is probably a big reason why we have not seen him since WrestleMania. Honestly, man, I hope that I hope he continues to not learn very fast. Because
Most
I,
definitely.
after the whole Mania debacle, I personally don't really care to see him.
No, most definitely. And look at what happened at Mania, how uncoordinated his spot that he was involved in was. He's not built for this, man. And I think they learned that.
I think so. So next time, don't let The Rock bring whoever the fuck he pleases into the building. Please, somebody tell him no. But yeah, so that is that. Travis Scott, that is probably the reason we have not seen him. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of some SummerSlam news and celebrity news, according to Fightful, Cardi B is still set to host SummerSlam in August. WWE have been making plans for the event with her in mind. I sort of figured so. We have not seen her, which is a good thing. I'm glad she'll probably rather just be hosting the show rather than having a storyline with her beefing with somebody going into the show. And I think we heard not too long ago that Triple H actually really enjoys working with Cardi B. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it ends up being okay, and yeah, hopefully all is well, and it's just again simply just her hosting the show, not her making long-term plans to be involved with, deep-rooted storylines going into next year's WrestleMania. Hopefully not.
Exactly. Hopefully they keep it simple, make her the host of the pay-per-view, and keep it at that.
Yeah, hopefully they do not pull a Travis Scott like we just talked about and try
Hopefully.
to involve the man with John Cena's fucking heel turn. So yeah, that's the news. It looks like Cardi B is still locked in for SummerSlam, and she will still be hosting the event. Speaking of somebody who hasn't been hosting anything as of late, Omos. He has not been hosting his way to the ring at all. I can't even remember the last time we've seen the guy on WWE. Maybe SummerSlam of 2023, that Slim Jim Battle Royal, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
According to WrestleVotes, WWE Creative has actively been discussing the idea of Omos getting a run in AAA, similar to his stint in Noah. The company is looking to position Omos outside the WWE bubble to help further establish him as a special attraction.
Dog. He was already doing it. In talking about like how he was in Noah. Yeah, he was in Noah, and it was working. And then you just pulled him for a year, and hasn't. I don't get WWE. I don't get that mentality. I don't get the plan.
Uh Honestly, bro, I really think they are just keeping this man so AEW does not get him, because I feel they want to, maybe capitalize on his height or something, and they think he's an attraction. If you guys don't think the guy can wrestle, and if you don't think it's working out, then it's not gonna work out just because he's fucking tall. At the end of the day, I mean, I do not understand the vision here, man. I mean, again, you're talking about, he's gonna get a run similar to his stint in Noah. Like Sir K just said, then why did we pull him from Noah? Why wouldn't we just have him continue to work until you wanted to transition him over to AAA? I mean, it's just so obvious you don't want to use the guy. Then just fucking get rid of him. You don't want to use him. You think he sucks. That's where we're at. At the end of the day, that is everything they've done up until this point is just them showing you that they don't like the guy. So that's, I mean, you see his height and you see him as nothing more than height. So you're paying a guy just because he's tall, essentially. I don't get it.
I don't understand.
I do not get it. Yeah, I don't I don't know, man. I don't know. It makes no sense. So yeah. Omos is
No.
Omos is still gone, and you could probably expect him to pop up in AAA. So that's just wonderful.
Oh, Lord.
Speaking of another guy who's gone, Pat McAfee. Pat shed a little bit of light on why exactly he is gone from WWE. On the July 16th episode of the Pat McAfee Show, Pat revealed that he hit a breaking point while juggling his WWE role, ESPN duties, and new life as a dad. McAfee said the grind became too much after nonstop travel between international events and work commitments. The breaking point came during Money in the Bank weekend in Los Angeles. He says, I got real tired, man. I crashed. I hit a wall. He explained how the schedule took him from Dublin to Paris Island, then straight to LA, all while hosting daily shows and prepping for major WWE broadcasts. He says they started Raw early. I'm like an energy guy. I don't need a lot of sleep to operate. I've always been that way. And then I just got to Money in the Bank in LA and I could just feel it. I'm like, oh my God, my brain is not operating right now. McAfee said that he started noticing significant signs of brain fog when he was on the verge of mental exhaustion. He says at Money in the Bank, as Money in the Bank was happening, I was like, oh my God, this is it. I finally hit it. And I never thought that was going to happen. He says, but this didn't mean much. This didn't mean McAfee didn't respect the job. In fact, he fired back at critics who doubted his commitment to wrestling. He says, I know wrestling fans don't think this is. I think a lot of them don't think this. The wrestling community doesn't think this, but like I was trying to put everybody over, maximum effort, full every time trying to get people over that are trying to get people over to people that are watching. Damn. Well, man, that definitely sucks to hear, and a lot of times a lot of times, man, things a lot of times, you know, things like that can happen, man. A lot of times things like that can happen. um I probably I probably wouldn't be the best person to talk about, you know, I probably wouldn't be the best person to preach about, you know, getting the maximum amount of sleep or whatever. Um, so I mean, I do get where he's coming from when he talks about, you know, not needing much to operate, man. But I mean, I am glad, I am glad that you know he did realize it. A lot of people a lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people just keep mudding along. But it is good, that he did realize that he needed a break, man. It's good that he realized he needed a break and was honest with himself and decided to step away, man. Because again, if you can't, I am a believer of the same kind of thing, man. If you can't give your all to something, especially something that you're passionate about, it's time to rejuvenate. It's time to go back to the drawing board. And like I said, it's time to rejuvenate and just, you know, freshen yourself up, man. And I'm glad that Pat is taking the time to do that because again, a lot of times he does. I mean, again, he is everywhere, like WWE, ESPN. He does his show every day, like it mentioned. So that's got to be a lot on the guy, and the travel is probably just absolutely just horrible on just his mental and his body and just his overall fatigue. So again, I'm glad that he was honest enough with himself to want to take a step back, man, because like I said, a lot of people would just be muddying along and just, you know, doing something while they're half-assing it. So that's a good thing, man, and you got to admire that. So I hope he can come back whenever he just feels ready to come back. So yeah.
Exactly, man. Exactly. It's obvious. He's feeling that burnout, man. And you know, it happens to many people. And you know, best to take the time off, recharge, and then come back, man. So, man's experienced burnout. And I hope hope when he comes back, he's fully charged.
For sure. So, with that, moving on to Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus, it is expected that Trish Stratus will wrestle in WWE again this year, according to Fightful Select. So, you know, we keep hearing this that, you know, Trish wants to do more. I know this is like her 25-year anniversary, so this year, so she's trying to do as much as she can. And I'm interested to. I'm not really. But we'll see where she go. We'll see where she goes from here. So yeah.
Exactly. Hopefully, it's not too involved in a title scene or something.
Who knows, man? Tiffany might pull her name out of the hat again. Give her another rematch. Even though
She
they had a pretty
should.
good match, so I can't hate
It
on that.
was.
But
It was.
so yeah. Quick side note, this isn't like news or anything, but like, did you hear that story about CM Punk meeting with Vince McMahon in 2019 or something?
Yeah, that's just wild.
That is
It
crazy.
really just makes me look at that AEW run very differently after learning about all that type of stuff, man. It's crazy.
He really ended up being one of the free agents to go over because of money.
He really was there for this guy. It's crazy, man. Good old CM Punk.
It's crazy too, bro, because at the time he was really selling it like he really fucked with AEW.
Oh,
Like
He was talking that shit. He
he
was.
was he was like, I watch AEW, I look at their roster, and it just looks so much, so much more youthful, so much more refreshing. That, like, damn, that's crazy.
Like,
That is
damn, bro. It is
crazy.
crazy. Man's a good actor, I'll tell you that, even
God
though,
damn.
I saw him in I think he had a horror movie and it wasn't that very good. But, in terms of wrestling, man, he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is. So, speaking of Trish Stratus, man, she was just on a WWE PLE, that of which being Evolution. So, according to PW Insider, the feeling amongst those spoken to is that they have to do another Evolution after the night's excellent quality of the show. Those spoken to made it clear that there is no timetable as to if or when it happens, and nothing has been decided on as of yet. Crazy to think that Evolution was that good, and Bianca Belair wasn't even in a match. Imagine.
It's crazy. Imagine when she, was actually back moving.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Liv is another one that wasn't there. Stephanie Vaquer wasn't in like a singles match type of thing. So just imagine. I mean, the possibilities are quite crazy for what they could potentially do. What they could potentially do with you know, future evolutions. But no, I think that should be the general consensus, man. Like I said, I don't know if it's a show you got to do every year. I think maybe bi-yearly, do it every 2 years. I think that might be fine. I don't think they should go another 7-year gap, but I don't, you know could they do it next year and have it be pretty nice, man? Sure. But you never want to burn a concept out. So I think every 2 years, man, might be a good idea, even though I would not doubt if they ran it back. And I also wouldn't be upset if they ran it back. I just don't want the concept to get, just kind of boring. You know what I mean? I don't want it to get like, I don't know. Well, I don't want it to get like Forbidden Door, but then again, though, we're talking two completely different scenarios there. But I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, I would just do it bi-yearly. Again, not, I wouldn't make it a thing where it's like, they gotta do one every single year. Because like last year in women's wrestling wasn't really that great. You know what I mean? So like you never know when you're going to come up on those years where it's bad, you know what I mean? And things aren't really all that interesting at the moment. I mean, last year around this time, Liv was doing her reign and Riga was out, so she was just feuding with randos, and then Bailey was the women's champion and it was boring as sin. She was feuding with Nia Jax. So again, you're gonna come up on years where, again, shit's just not looking too hot in the WWE women's division at the moment. But when things are, do an evolution, bro. I don't see a problem with it.
Exactly. I don't see a problem with it all. I'd be down for next year, especially with the women's crop they have right now that like you said, didn't fully get to work the show, man. So I think next year it could be even cooler and even crazier. Just never make it a thing where it's part of your schedule and you're like, oh, we have to do the show. So let's try to make something for this show. It has to happen as organically as possible. I think it happened this year. I think it happened next year. But it don't let it become a thing where it's all it's evolution time of the year. Let's conjure up some shit, even
Yep.
though they might not have stuff written up yet. So it's one of those things. Don't have to do it. Do it when you should do it. And if that's next year, then dope. I hope it's next year. If it's not the year after that, then skip it for a year. That's the way I would look at it.
That's the way WWE needs to look at a lot of things, okay? That's the way
Lot of
WWE needs to look at War Games. That's the way WWE needs to look at putting the tag team or not putting the tag team championships on pay-per-views. So they really need to learn when, okay, we should put this on the pay-per-view. Okay, we should take this away. Okay, we should bring this back. They got to get better at that, man. They really do. But yeah, for sure. Cuz yeah, like like I said, man, you come up on a year like 2024 again, Evolution's not gonna be looking so hot. I'll just say that. But again, man, because last year for the women in WWE, it was a pretty boring year, to be honest, man. So again, but when you do come up on years like this year and things have been pretty good so far, then do it. So our final story before we get to some AEW stuff, man, we got a WWE slash TNA story as, according to Sports Illustrated, AJ Styles appearing at TNA Slammiversary has reportedly been in the works for some time and has been a top priority for TNA management. The reported expectation amongst members of the TNA roster is that Styles will be at the event in some capacity. Now, last night, I believe, they did air some sort of vignette for AJ Styles, and it was like a crate that opened up with like his old TNA gear in it. So AJ Styles will be appearing at TNA Slammiversary for the first time since 2014. It's been 11 years since since AJ has been in TNA, man. So crazy to see, and I'm sure for their audience that'll be an epic homecoming, man, for AJ Styles, man. That's his old stomping ground. So yeah.
Exactly, man. It's awesome. Cool to see, man. Um, Funny, people thought, he was gonna be all in this year,
He was.
and he's showing up to TNA, man. But he was gonna be at all in, dude. He was. He was gonna face Will Ospreay,
He was.
um, or he was gonna attack Will
It was
Ospreay
it was
after said
earmarked.
match. But
Yeah. Right.
it was yeah, exactly. But he's gonna do the thing with TNA, and that's really cool, man. He's he's like the TNA guy. To be honest, he's one of those people where you think of someone from TNA, you think of AJ Styles for an example,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be cool to see.
For sure, man. So yeah, that is all the news for WWE. Again, within the WWE segment of the show. I do apologize for all the technical difficulties within there, but look, man, if technical difficulties got you drained, if life difficulties got you drained, go ahead and copy you some W Energy, man. We got W Energy here, the official sponsor of NHP. W is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W is a clean formula that is sugar-free, 0-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Really, always got to shout out W, man. Whether workout, whatever you may need the energy for, W got you. It'll keep you energized, keep you up, awake, without the jitters, and it'll taste good all at the same time.
There you have it, man. So as always, shouts out and thank you so much to the great people over at W for being the official sponsor of what we do here at NHP, man. So thank you guys so very much as always. So, all right, man, we got some AEW news here, bro. We got All In. Let's start with this. Let's start with this, man. This made me chuckle a little bit. A little chuckle. So,
Yeah.
all right, you ready for this? According to Uncle
Well,
Dave. Oh, it gets good.
okay.
Well, if you watched this before Dynamite, this probably would have got you really excited for Dynamite, but we're post Dynamite. So, anyways, according to Uncle Dave, AEW talent reportedly feel very, very happy with AEW All In. And there is reportedly a sense that things have turned around. Wow.
Well, they did a 360 because they fucking turned right back around. Come this Wednesday, and we'll talk about that on Tuesday. But boy, oh fucking boy, that things
Wow.
turned around. All in was great, and then you turn right back around, and we're waiting for All Out to be good again. Because holy fuck, was that fucking episode something?
We were talking last night, man, and I told you, I said, as far as AEW is concerned, I will catch them in, I will catch them in early September for All Out or whenever the fuck it is, mid September or whatever the fuck it
Hmm,
is, because
sure don't want to catch Forbidden Door.
no, no, I'll miss that train. I will let that train leaves the station very happily as I hopefully I am almost begging them at this point not to do something big at that show because oh my god, I just oh god, I don't want to say I don't want to review it. I love hanging out with you guys, man. Highlight of my night half the time, bro. But fuck, are those Forbidden Door shows just God? Those are just a bore fest, man. It is just you just have. I mean, you pay $50 to just listen to Excalibur mark out about these people in Japan that he likes, and this has no implications on anything. But anyways, AEW, man, there's a sense that they turn things around. Never in my life have I seen Tony Khan hit a fucking U-turn so hard. I mean, he put the captain hat on. He got Captain Clay out of the seat and he hit a U-turn on that yacht so hard. I mean, it is ridiculous, man. I don't think anybody's ever seen a yacht hit so hard of a U-turn because he turned right back around and yeah, things on AEW this week were rather fucking bland and rather random. So yeah, that I think I wonder how they
Right, turned
feel.
around.
I wonder how they feel now. Um,
Yeah,
because
I wonder how they fucking back. I'm sure they'll say they'll feel great coming out of Dynamite because it was a great, awesome show, man. Those all-star fucking money tag fucking battle fucking royals,
you mean
whatever.
the 100K four-way?
I think there's another one on Yeah, there's a $200,000 match on
Oh
Collision.
yeah, it was like
Like,
the 200K tag or something, 200K four-way tag or some shit. What the fuck,
good
man?
lord,
Tony,
what
what are
a
we?
just shit,
You just
Tony, bruh.
you
He
just
has
had an
momentum.
dude. You just had an all-timer ending of a pay-per-view, and you go back to the drawing board and say, you know what we need for Wednesday? We need a fucking uh
100K battle fucking fuckfest.
we need 100K four-way. You got to be kidding me.
Gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, that what do what are we doing? What are we doing, Tony? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so there's a sense things have turned around and it looks like they're back headed the other way where they were post or pre all in. So yeah, things are right back to where they used to be. And yeah, it's not the Death Riders though, so I mean I guess it got a fraction of a sense of a tiny bit of
Better.
an iota better. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they made the exit off the freeway, turn right back onto the next on ramp onto the freeway instantly,
Yep.
and are back in that same fucking direction.
um so yeah, that was that. And yeah, that was the new that is the news on how the talent is feeling for after All In. So, speaking of some talent that was featured at All In, we got Samoa Joe. And what's funny about this is me and Sir K on the All In review said this verbatim.
Oh yeah, I think it was very obvious.
So, according to Fightful, Samoa Joe has reportedly been written off of TV following the attack at All In, as he is due to do promotional work for Twisted Metal Season 2, which, for the
That.
record, I think comes out on the 31st, I want to say, and I am fucking stoked because Season 1, oh my god, that was just mwah. My God, that was so good. It was so fucking good, man. Yeah, they killed him, man. He killed it as Sweet Tooth, the body of Sweet Tooth. He specifically killed it. Those last 2 episodes of that season, dude, chef's kiss, bro. Chef's fucking kiss. And this season, the cliffhanger they left us on, man, look, bro. I'm so excited for it. Anthony Mackie, Stephanie Beatrice, bro. They killed it. Samoa Joe killed it. Everybody killed it. Yeah, everybody killed it. God damn, it was so great. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and I had a feeling, and again, we even said it then that he had to go do some media for Twisted Metal. So I'm excited for it, bro. I'm pumped for Twisted Metal season 2. I can't lie, if you can't fucking tell.
Almost. We can tell, man. We can tell most definitely. It's very obvious why he was written off TV. I mean, the show is coming up. Obviously, they're gonna do promotion. He's a big part of it, and he's gonna go do promotion, so that's cool. Wonder what the fuck he's gonna be coming back to. Who, God knows what AEW he's coming back
Stay in the
to.
ice cream
I
truck.
don't even want to think about.
Please.
He might as well come back on that ice cream truck, dude. But yeah, he's gonna be off TV for a little bit, man.
Yeah, please, Joe. Just stay in the Sweet Tooth ice cream truck, please. Just stay. You might as well.
They might as well start filming season 3 and keep him out.
Oh man, I wonder if they'll do a season 3. I wonder if this is going to be the write-off. I hope they do a season 3. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. Cause god damn, season 1 was so good. But yeah, speaking of somebody who got attacked by the linchpin of the Death Riders. Badass, just aura-filled nickname there. The linchpin, Claudio. Yeah. They got stomped.
The fucking bobby pin.
By the linchpin, Claudio Castagnoli. Will Ospreay, man. According to Fightful, Will Ospreay has been working banged up and is I almost said excited, and is expected to take some time off of AEW.
I'm fucking injured.
Those spoken to are of the belief that Ospreay will be out over a month, but the exact timetable isn't known, which this is interesting because this man might miss Forbidden Door, which, if that's the case, then holy shit. God bless Forbidden Door. God bless anybody who watches Forbidden Door.
Genuinely, the only 2 matches I could see so far for Forbidden Door are Swerve and Okada, and I could see Mox and Darby unless they try to keep saving it. But other than that, that is literally the biggest thing I can think of Forbidden Door is fucking Swerve and Okada.
I honestly think, especially with his ties with the Death Riders and because of Forbidden Door, I could see Mox and Darby, and I could see the main event of that show being Adam Page versus Gabe Kidd, which is good. I mean, it's good, not good enough for a review, guys. It is. It is going. It goes. Again, you guys, I can't stress, man. I if I love doing anything, man, it's a post-show review. I love hanging out with you guys after the pay-per-view, but I really think we may have to throw the towel in for Forbidden Door, man. It is not a reviewable show. It is. We can't talk about storylines coming out of it again because nothing fucking matters, bro. It is. I don't know. It's
matter.
It so far again, man. Unless they have fucking John Cena come in to have a match against Adam Page, we're probably not reviewing Forbidden Door because the show is worthless. I mean, again, we're looking at about an 80-20%, but We'll see.
It's like Saturday Night's Main Event. It's
Yes.
stuff happened, but it's like it's not worth to do a whole review over. We get we included in unscripted, and that's usually good enough.
I think that's where we're headed, bro, to be honest. Like I said,
I think so.
unless they pull out fucking John Cena versus Kenny Omega, then
Unless AJ Styles doesn't make an appearance in AEW, you won't be sticking for the
well,
fucking review. And if he does,
hey,
then holy fuck.
quiet down a little bit. I don't want any of the AEW fans to hear you say that because, they
Yeah,
might,
because he's got to be there.
yeah, AJ Styles he's gonna come in and fucking face Nick Jackson. And
Nick Jackson. Nick Jackson. I wouldn't be
yeah,
shocked. They
I
would
wouldn't
do
be
that
either.
shit too.
Yeah, they probably would. They would eat it up for sure. Did you see all these people conspirizing that the Young Bucks are gonna turn on each other and
Is
one
that
of
gonna
them's gonna?
break?
Oh my! You seen this shit too,
Yeah,
bro?
I,
Oh my
I saw
god!
it. They're like comparing an image that they shot of like them hugging each other to another image of
Osprey
people
and
that
Fletcher,
turned on
right?
each other.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's like
Even though
that's a
even though like the image like the both of the bucks were mad like they looked weird like they both of them were not vibing with Callis hugging them even though they tried to say like Matt was smiling, he's happy about it. Like no he wasn't, y'all just
no.
screenshot at the
They
most
both
convenient
like
time. Like all right,
it's very obvious they're gonna just slowly ease their way off being heels and slowly ease their way into being baby faces again. That's pretty the fucking obvious path here, but you know,
well
AEW fans think AJ Styles is showing up. They think fucking Young Bucks are gonna split up. They got some fucking they got some theories, man, and they're all ass.
I don't know about that, man. Maybe the Bucks are gonna be the newest members of the Adam Cole family.
Fucking kill me.
So
Kill me, dude, with fire, dude.
so Will Ospreay's
Ugh.
out. This does suck for AEW, man. This obviously sucks for AEW. I originally thought the main event of Forbidden Door was going to be Paige and Ospreay. I thought Paige was going to give that to him for the sacrifice that he made, but if Will is actually banged up and if he's actually hurt, man, then we might not be seeing him back for, maybe all outish. Maybe he comes back at Forbidden Door. I don't know, but I hope he rests up. I hope he gets the proper rest and the proper healing before he comes back. Hope AEW don't bring him back early, but I hope we see him back, man, whenever he's good. So yeah, so Ospreay looks like Ospreay's gonna be out, man, which does suck for AEW's case in television, but at least Jon Moxley isn't the world champ anymore.
That's all that matters.
So Kenny Omega, according to Fightful Select, Kenny Omega is reportedly set to take some time off from AEW television. It is currently unclear if he will be off programming or if he will be making sporadic appearances. Well, if you watch Dynamite on Wednesday, Don Callis referred to Kenny Omega as being dead. So I'm assuming he'll be off programming for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he's like people are like, oh, is he injured or not? What I think it is for Kenny, I think you can't have that man with his history of medical problems around all the time, working all the time. You're gonna have to use him sporadically, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he's really not needed on TV right now. So don't have him on TV right now. Save him, save his health, and I think that's what it. I think this is going to be a pretty constant with Kenny Omega. I think we're going to see him for a while. Big pay-per-view match. Won't see him for a little bit. See him, won't see him, and that's just obvious due to his health.
Absolutely, man. Obviously, we all know the diverticulitis, the Japan style, really took a toll on the man. So this is kind of just what we've been used to for a while with Kenny, and I honestly think this is no different from how it's going to be since he came back. He's going to appear sporadically when he wrestles a big match, which he normally does at like a lot of the pay-per-views, they usually give him some time off, man. It's not really the best idea at this point in the man's life to, having him run around like a fucking Iron Man. This is not 2016 anymore, man. Kenny's a lot older. And we need to preserve Kenny so we can have Kenny for as long as he's willing to go. But let's take care of him on the way there, man. Let's not, let's not again waste the guy's health and rush the guy out there, and again just waste the last couple good years we really have of Kenny, fucking fighting Lee Johnson on Dynamite in a squash match. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and like I said, this is pretty similar to what we're used to as a whole with Omega. So yeah,
Most definitely.
so we got news. We got more injury news for AEW as a talent was injured during the Collision tapings yesterday. AEW's Collision tapings on July 17th in Chicago take a serious turn as the $200,000 four-way tag team match went wrong. Of course,
Oh, man. Wonder if they're going to use the money for the medical bills.
Maybe.
So, yeah,
Maybe. That's if he gets any. If he gets any medical assistance from AEW. You might be asking for too much.
that is true. I don't even think they won the match.
Correspondents at the Byline Bank Aragon Ballroom in Chicago sent word that Colton Gunn appeared to suffer a right knee injury during the tag match featuring Big Bill, Brian Keith, the Guns, Gates of Agony, and crew. In the image captured from the ringside area, Gunn is seen being helped to the back, clearly in pain, favoring his leg, while surrounded by crew and talent. The match continued without him, but the injury didn't go unnoticed with concern as Gunn was escorted away. There's been no official word on his status yet from AEW. Damn. The injury bug, bro.
That's what I was gonna say. Did the other one? Was it the other one that came back from injury recently, or was Colton the one that was injured?
I think it was
time?
Austin. I'm pretty sure it was Austin that was hurt.
Okay. That shit always sucks, dude. And a lot of times it is a plague on a lot of AEW tag teams. Because, I mean, it happened, with the original, with Top Flight. It happened with, I think, it happened multiple times with multiple fucking tag teams before, dude. And that's the worst. One comes back from injury, and then right as they're back, the other one goes out with the injury, dude. That shit sucks, dude. I've really grown to like the Guns, actually.
Same.
And it sucks that they're out again, dude. It really sucks.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Bro, I'm trying to. Oh, here we go. I'm trying to see because I keep getting the memory for it, bro. I literally I had to mention this because I keep getting the memory on my Google photos. What would that be? 5 years ago today, bro. Or actually, no. Actually, by this point, 5 years ago yesterday was when we went to PWTs.
Wow, that's insane, dude.
5 years ago. I think that was the last time we've been.
I think so. Was it? Were we?
Yeah, because they closed shortly after.
Oh, they did, and yeah, we never went back. Because now I think it's weird.
It's
I think now it is closed permanently, but for a while it was like weird.
So now PWTs does a pop-up. Do you remember the case they had where it was? Do you remember the case where it was just like a bunch of shirts in the case type thing? Like you had to. It was almost like a closet almost, and you kind of just like open it. you know, and then there's like a stack of shirts with, you know, and it's got like the shirt posted
It's
on
a
like the
whole
front of the closet type thing, and then you open it up and grab the. I think it's just those now, and it's a real small selection. Really missed opportunity there.
That's
I miss when
crazy.
that was just an open walk-in store. Maybe I would actually buy some fucking AEW merch if it was still open, because I would just say, "Hey,
Oh, oh,
one day." Well, no, I would if they made
I
fire
would.
merch for the right
Or like,
people. Like,
I want
dude,
to say, or like Tony Storm or
because like half the time, bro, the thing that keeps me from buying AEW merch is how fucking long they take,
there's
dude.
time.
It's like
Oh,
how
dude,
it takes 3 weeks to get to you, and then their designs nowadays are kind of shit. So
they're so lame and cheesy, and it's always like the cheesiest garbage, like the MJF pickle one. It's like, dude, why does Mark Briscoe have an MJF kosher pickle shirt? It's like,
what is
who
that?
is wearing that?
The motherfuckers that think AJ Styles was gonna be at fucking All In, that's who's wearing it.
That's who's wearing the shirt. Yep.
Yeah, crazy stuff, bro. Crazy stuff. Yeah, damn. 5 years ago.
Crazy.
So we'll who knows, man. Maybe they'll open it up again one day. But
Hopefully.
moving on here to Ricochet. Speaking of cheesy, um, Ricochet. He oh god. According to the U.S.
Ricochet. I
the
mean, if
U.S. According to the U.S. Trademark Office, Ricochet filed a trademark for light skin kingpin.
I mean, it's ass, but like it's ass to where like it's funny. You know what I mean? Like
This is
him
true.
saying that on TV, it's gonna be so cringy and lame. But that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see him announce this on television because it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
The light skin kingpin. Bro, you know what I miss from Ricochet? I miss the tag team of Zesty Monster, bro. You remember that tag team? Him and Braun Strowman?
Yeah,
Man.
where's SD Monster, dude? That was goated. He needs to link up with like, I mean, Brody King be hanging out with anybody, so fuck
Eh,
it, get Zesty King over there and fucking go crazy.
Well, now he's with the Gates of Agony, so he could be the Gates of Zest.
Yeah, the zest of agony, maybe. He's got a lot of potential there.
There's a lot of potential there. But Jesus. But yeah, Ricochet like you said, man, it is awful, but Ricochet, his whole
Like, it's the
character's
point.
corny, you know? So I mean
Yeah,
it makes
he does it on
sense.
purpose. Yeah, he's corny. At this point, he's at this point. I think he's trying to be corny, and I think it is still working. So it's funny, and it fits his character. It is better than what he was doing in WWE for me. So I still like what he's doing in AEW, man.
Very true. Very true. For sure. Yeah. I mean, right now, I don't even know this man would probably have jobbed out 87 times over to the Seth Riders. So it's better than that.
Oh,
I'll give
yeah,
him that. So
or or the Bloodline, whichever show. He was either if he was on SmackDown, it would have been the Bloodline
yep.
or MFT, or on like you said on Raw, it would have been the Seth Riders.
How many tsunamis would Ricochet have taken if he was still in WWE is the real question. So,
Dozens. Call that shit fucking Krispy Kreme dozen.
yeah, no, you ain't lying, bruh. So, AEW. AEW have they got another announcement. They got another announcement for us on a show. So, they have announced as of I want to say this was yesterday. Yes, this was yesterday. AEW have announced AEW have announced their AEW All In London return for August 30th, 2026, in none other than Wembley Stadium. Which, as you can see, we're right back to London. We're right back to the same old font and
Tradition.
the tradition. Yeah, there you go. One thing I like from All in Texas, man, it just felt fresh. They switched up the font to the show. Obviously, had the cowboy theme going on, and we are right back in London, right back to this again. So, in all serious though, man, I mean, the if you look behind, it's kind of got like an aerial view of like a map. I mean, that looks kind of cool. The theme looks pretty cool, man. But the one thing that a lot of people took notice of, if you look at this image right here, this is Money in the Bank, New Orleans. And what's the date on that? That says Saturday, August 29th, 2026. This is August 30th, 2026. So, what that means is we have another double weekend, as we have Money in the Bank and All In on the same weekend. So, that should be interesting, man. And this time, AEW is firing back, I guess, from what WWE did to them this year. All In weekend.
I think this year gave them confidence. I mean, we shit on the AEW television all the fucking time. Just wait till Tuesday. But their pay-per-views are good. All In was a great show. My only, bit of criticism mainly is don't make it 6 hours next year,
Ooh.
please. And I think you'll have a phenomenal show ahead of you. That was like really the only negative on the show was, the fucking 6 hour time frame. You cut that down a decent amount, and I think you have a really good show. And I'm excited for the weekend. I love the double weekends. My only fear and my only request, it's to WWE. I swear to God, don't put Evolution 3 that Sunday. People have been saying, don't do it. I don't think it would happen, but I wouldn't be shocked either. So please don't do that, WWE, because I want to watch both shows live and review both shows live.
For sure. Yeah, I don't I feel like they wouldn't, because I'm assuming they'll have a
I
lot of
feel like they
women.
would, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, because they'll have a lot of women in that ladder match. So I could maybe see them,
Exactly.
maybe not wanting to work them, you know, both nights or whatever. But then again, they did work Stephanie both nights with Worlds Collide and Money in the. Actually, no, that was two matches in the same day. So yeah, they worked the hell out of her that day. But yeah, I mean, hopefully not, man. Hopefully not. Which, it's Money in the Bank weekend. That's one of their biggest ones. If anything, I just they're gonna add an NXT show that weekend. They're gonna add an NXT show that
Oh,
Sunday.
we're gonna get the first ever Sunday night's main event. Uh,
Oh, brother.
I wouldn't fucking doubt it. I
Yeah, me
wouldn't
neither.
doubt it, but fucking
So yeah,
WWE. But yeah,
All
I'm
In.
down, dude. I'm down. I'm excited.
For sure, man. All In. It's going back to London. It's going back to Wembley. So, good old Tony Khan. Tradition. Tradition is
Tradition,
key.
which, like you mentioned, tradition. Like you mentioned this year, it was really nice with the all in, Texas theme logo and show and
Mm-hmm.
overall. And, they all in is their WrestleMania. And it was really cool because this year they treated it like WrestleMania visually, where they kind of, did a theme about where they went. And that's why you take a show around. That's why WWE takes WrestleMania around because, boom, you're in New Orleans, Mardi Gras, you're in Vegas, gambling, you're here, it's this.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just, not even because I'm sick of traditions with AEW, but just take All In around because you could just do that same thing, but for All In, and it'd be super fucking dope, dude. Imagine like a fucking Lakers theme All In if they're in California, or a fucking, you could do so much cool shit. And
Yeah.
I really hope after next year they really move all in around and make it like a yearly thing to move it around.
Absolutely. I hope so. Yeah, I hope that is the last year that they run Wembley for a while. Like I said, man, I'm in agreement with you, man. If you want the show to become bigger and bigger and bigger, move it around, bro. Take it out of London. Go to Wales. Go to
Hmm.
Scotland.
Yeah,
Go
go to yeah,
somewhere.
Italy, dude,
Ireland. Something.
Spain, something.
Um,
Rio, fucking go crazy.
yeah, Puerto Rico, something, dude, something different, man. But yeah, I mean, I hope so. I hope so, man. But we will see. We will see how all that works out, man. But for our final story today, man, Adam Cole. Adam
Damn.
Cole, according to the Wrestling Observer, Adam Cole was reportedly set to retire at AEW All In until cooler heads prevailed. Brian Alvarez stated that, from what I gather, he was pretty much ready to go out on Sunday and retire. Cooler heads prevailed. He may make that decision at any time. Everything that you saw on TV was 100% legitimate. His future as a wrestler is very much in doubt. Sean Sapp would bring us a update on this, stating that Adam Cole is currently dealing with a concussion, which a lot of AEW fans have noted a point on his Collision match where he took a lariat from Kyle Fletcher, and uh, pretty much all of his weight, as he took the bump, all of his weight fell down right on his head. Um, man, that
Sucks, dude.
is
It really
it really does, man. Do you see do you see uh do you see Adam Cole retiring, bro?
interesting, man, because from the cooler heads prevail line, to me that reads as Adam Cole was very, flustered, very worried, probably overthinking, and I think he was going to make the decision to retire. And the vibe I get is that someone talked, is that people in general were able to talk him out of it, out of him doing that in that moment, and letting time be the answer to that. And I think that's where the answer does lie, is time. Um, there's a chance he might have to, and if you give it enough time, there's a chance he could go again. It's one of those things where, I think time is the real teller in this situation, and who knows how much that time will be. Maybe he needs to take a year or two off, and maybe, that sucks, and, that really he might have the longest contract in wrestling history at that point. Might beat out Taker's 10-year contract. But
15.
it's just one of those things, man, where it's 15. Where I think time is the only way to tell if he what the future entails for him. I truly hope he does not have to retire. Adam Cole is such a beast, dude. He's great. One of my favorites from NXT, dude, and one of the best potential guys that anyone can have on the roster, man. I truly hope that, he can continue, and that wherever he may continue, whoever is booking him, can lock the fuck in and make him the top star he fucking should have been.
Man, this guy, crazy that he never got that AEW World Championship. But honestly, bro, he's 36. If he's got to take a year off, he'll come back at 37. If he's got to take 2 years off, he'll come back at 38. And I agree with you, man. I honestly think, from what that sounds like, it sounds like Cole was done. It sounds like he was just tired of dealing with concussions, and he's tired of the injury battle that he's fought ever since he's been in AEW, really. He's tired of it. And I could see him being at the point where he just kind of wants to hang it up. We kind of hear the same thing from Kenny Omega, right? We hear the same thing. Kenny always says, one more major injury and I'm done, right? Danielson, You know what I mean? We heard we still hear it with him, even though I think Brian will be back. We hear it with him all the time. Um, I need to be a dad, and I need my neck to be okay. You know what I mean? Because I need to be a dad or whatever. And he talked about too being done or being part time, which obviously, like I said, I think Brian will go to being part time and more of an attraction for AW. But I think Adam Cole is kind of at that same point here, man, where he is. I think he's tired of fighting the injury battle. He knows he's getting older. Logan says it in the chat. You only got one brain, bro. And unless you're Shibata, you can't get another one. Okay? So it's important for Adam Cole to protect his brain. And with the amount of concussions, bro, I think this is like number 3 or maybe even 4 that he's had since he's been in AEW, because I remember hearing that, he's even kind of, had concussions or been a little banged up before, and he doesn't even realize it. You know what I mean? And when you get to that point,
Yeah.
you know it's bad. So you just got to get to a point where you do have to respect his decision on, do we love Adam Cole? Fuck yeah. Like Sir K just said, he's one of all of our favorites from NXT, right? He is an NXT godfather. He is an NXT god. He is fucking Adam Cole. He's the leader of the Undisputed Era, the greatest faction in NXT history, right? There's no questioning that. But it gets to a point where, do you want to keep doing this if you are just going to further risk of brain injury as you get older in life? I mean, that's no good, man. That's no good. Nobody obviously, Adam Cole signed up to be a professional wrestler. I'm almost positive Adam Cole did not sign up to have brain injury and be in a wheelchair the rest of his life. Okay, so again, it gets to a point where I could see why he would maybe make the decision later on to, and I think it's good that they talked him into waiting and seeing where things go. I think that is a good thing. Like I said, man, I really do. I think it's a good thing that he obviously wasn't in a good headspace. So I think it's a good thing that he decided to wait on it. But again, just saying, bro, if he does come to that decision, it's to the point where we all got to respect it, man. I mean, he's been in AEW since he was 32 years old. He's now 36 and has already battled foot injuries, concussion injuries. It's so much. I mean, it's really sad, but again, you get to a point where you just got to say, this guy's got to look out for his health at some fucking point. Something's got to give, and we'll see what his decision is. But whatever it is, man, we all got to respect it, because this has been very hard for us to see him go through as fans, and I can only imagine how this is on him. You know what I mean? And that's what's most important. And I hope he makes a decision that suits best for him. But again, do not be shocked if he takes like 1-2 years off, bro, because Brian took 3 off from his concussion, and or from his concussion and brain problems. So do not be shocked if we get some sort of mini retirement from Adam Cole for now. And I think he's gonna be gone a really, really long time, to be honest. I'm thinking about 2 or 3 years. So it sucks, but this
Thinking that
again, this is his brain, man. He
it's best for him.
exactly. Exactly. And one thing I'm glad for, man, is I feel like a lot of wrestling fans, at some point you just got to stop caring about wrestling, and you got to care about the guy as a human being. So, and I'm glad a lot of fans seem to be in that mindset. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. It sucks, but I truly just wish the best in health for the man.
So absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And yeah, man, that is everything here today for this edition of the news. Thank you guys so very much, as always, for joining us here today, man. Thank you guys. I know it's been a loaded episode of news. We almost went 3 hours a day. We appreciate you guys riding with us, bro. But hey, man, it has been always, always, always a pleasure For my Johnny.
And Sir K.
And that is going to do it for episode 275 of the news. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Thank you to everybody who popped in the live chat, Logan, Bell, and everybody a part of the Replay Mafia. My guys, JT and JB. Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Thank you guys, man. We love you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all on Tuesday at noon Central with NHP Unscripted.